Dear learners, I am Christina Georgy, your academic counselor, and I welcome you to my session. Of late, I have been receiving a lot of queries regarding the exam preparation of our paper on Rethinking Development. I understand that many of my dear learners are confused regarding the various aspects with respect to this course, such as the question pattern, important areas to focus on, and other aspects. Some of you must have attended the live sessions by Dr. Georgy and myself. I suppose these people have much clarity regarding all these points. Nevertheless, I thought of helping you out with some of the basic aspects to remember so that I could facilitate your last minute exam preparation. So shall we start the session? First and foremost, let's have a look at the course details. As you have seen in our course introduction video of BSOG-173, this particular course is a generic elective offered to the BA level learners of various subjects such as English, psychology, sociology, history, public administration, economics, and the like. So remember, this is a common paper. So when you go for your TEE, almost all the students studying under the BA honors stream would be attempting the same paper. And remember, Rethinking Development, this particular paper examines the ideas of development from a sociological perspective. So what is the course code? BSOG-173. What about the course title? Rethinking Development. Most of you must be wondering why I am asking this again and again. Dear learners, from the TEE perspective, it is very important to be aware of the course codes and course titles. What do you mean by TEE? I suppose all of you are familiar. TEE refers to your term end examination. I have explained the TEE guidelines such as how to fill in your answer booklet, how to find your exam hall, and many other aspects in the previous video of mine. I suppose you have seen it. If not, you may refer to that. So with respect to this particular course, remember the course code is BSOG-173, course title Rethinking Development. What will you do if in case you forget all these things? At least the course code and course title you can find in your whole ticket. Remember to take your whole ticket along with you. What about the program code? It will be seen in your IGNOU ID card. You should take that also along with you. Remember, your program code will not be the same because it will depend on the specific subject that you have opted for. Say for BA English honors students, your program code would be BAEGH. What about BA Public Administration honors students? It would be BAPAH, and similar is the case with all other BA honors students enrolled for psychology, sociology, history, economics, and the like. So all the details regarding the correct filling up of this answer booklet has been discussed. Refer to that video if in case you are not familiar with these aspects. Moving on. What about the question pattern? Are you familiar with the question pattern? Do you have any idea regarding the maximum marks for your BSOG-173 paper? Dear learners, I understand that many of you are confused with respect to this particular aspect. Remember, BSOG-173 is a 100 marks paper. I understand maybe it's because of the other electives that you seem confused. That is, if you have opted for BPCS 186 Managing Stress taught by myself, that paper is just for 50 marks. I've already uploaded the previous question paper and we have analyzed all such aspects, remember? Yes, that is for 50 marks, but BSOG is for 100 marks. So there will be 3 hours time allotted for the effective completion of this particular answer paper. Now, what about the question type? Normally, for most of your question papers, you might be having short answer questions, long answer questions, essay questions, etc. But for BSOG-173, the question type is long essay. Dear learners, remember, BSOG-173 is not an objective paper. BSOG-173 is a descriptive writing paper where you will be asked to write long essays. Remember, each essay carries 20 marks. 20 marks essays are expected from you. So there will be 8 questions in total. But don't you worry, you will be having options. You will have to choose and write any 5 out of the 8 questions that are given in your question paper. Remember, 5 out of 8. So 5 into 20 equal to 100. That is 5 questions for 20 marks each. 5 into 20, 100. So I hope the mark division is clear. We have discussed more such aspects related to the question pattern as part of our analysis on the previous TEE, the BSOG-173 December 21 TEE. If you are not familiar, please refer to that. I understand that many learners were searching for the previous question papers, it seems. See, I would like to let you know that BSOG-173 is a newly introduced course. So you won't be able to find many previous question papers. All you have is the December 2021 question paper. So far you just have one previous question paper. Coming back, about the word limit. The word limit mentioned in the question paper is 400 words. See, many learners seem to be bothered about the page numbers and page limits. Dear learners, remember, you will be provided only one answer booklet, and as I have discussed in my TEE guidelines, there will be 26 pages plus 2 pages. Those 2 pages you can't write because it will basically be a rough page and a last page that contains instructions. So you will have to limit your answers to 26 pages. You won't be provided additional sheets. So far, with respect to last TEE, they haven't provided. I suppose that will be the case with this time's TEE as well. Let's wait and see. So don't be bothered about the number of pages. Anyway, there should be more than 400 words. And moreover, dear learners, it is the content that matters, not the page numbers. See, if you fail to write the major points discussed in your study material, you won't be able to score good marks. I repeat, rely on your prescribed study material on BSOG-173. I have oriented all my videos on BSOG-173 based on our official study material itself. That is because all the questions for your TEE will be based on that study material. Therefore, you don't have to rely on any external sources for your preparation. Even if you do so, you might fail to write the key points mentioned in your coursebook. Dear learners, you have enough and more content available in your prescribed study material from IGNOU in order to frame a 400-word answer. Ideally, a 20-mark question would run into a minimum of 4 to 5 pages. So it all depends on your handwriting as well. As I always mention, handwriting matters, my dear learners. Try to write neatly and make your answers as legible as possible. Margins are provided in your answer booklet. Remember to carry extra pens and all other essentials such as your IGNOU ID card and hall ticket. All such things you need to take care of. So how can you prepare effectively for your BSOG-173 TEE? See, we already know that there are 4 blocks and 14 units with respect to this particular course. From the previous question papers, we can see that you will be expected to answer one question based on each of the units. There are options provided. See, many students were asking me for some tips for last minute exam preparation with respect to this particular course. Dear learners, if you are running short of time, I would say you can safely leave a few units that you find difficult to comprehend or study. There will be questions only from 8 units out of the 14 units in your study material. So you are free to choose 5 out of these 8 questions as well. So I suppose it's fine if you leave out a few units, but remember not to leave an entire block. That would land you in trouble. Whatever you study, study neatly. Smart work is important. You can prepare some answers in advance. All your answers must contain an introduction. You should divide your answers into paragraphs. And finally conclude your answers properly. Answer to the question. They don't expect you to write general essays based on these units. They ask you specific questions. Do refer to my analysis of December 21 paper for that matter. See, I told you if you are running short of time, you can leave out a few units. Nevertheless, it is always advisable to have an understanding of all the units to be on the safest side. So 5 questions. If you are able to write at least 5 pages, it would be 5 into 5, 25, a total of 25 pages. I remind you once again, content matters. Write the points, answer to the question. Do not try to fill in your answer sheets with irrelevant points or irrelevant answers. That would fetch you negative marks. In the sense that won't help you score well for this particular paper. I would say this is a scoring paper because you can choose and study for this paper. You have enough and more options. You just have essay type questions, 20 mark questions. So if you write neatly, clearly to the question with appropriate points, you will certainly be able to score well. Now let's have a look at some of the key points to keep in mind while you are at the exam hall. First and foremost, check whether you have received the correct question paper. How do you check so? Have a look at the course code and program code. If you are not sure, you can check your hall ticket for that matter. Check whether all the pages are printed. That is very, very important. If not, let the invigilator know about this. Read the instructions carefully. So, please make sure that you read the instructions printed in the BSOG-173 question paper carefully. Later, you may have a look at the questions. Dear learners, do not panic. Be relaxed. Choose your options. Remember, you can choose 5 out of 8. Then plan your answers. What do you mean by planning? You have to write within 400 words and your answer should not exceed 5 pages as well, because 5 into 5 is how it should go ideally. And try to make all your answers of the same length. That is, for a 20-mark essay, if you write the first question for 5 pages, and if you write the second question for 2 pages, and the third question for 3 pages, that won't be appreciable. It would be great if you could adjust the length of all your answers. If all your answers are of the same length, provided all your answers are for 20 marks, then that would be wonderful. This is not a mandatory thing. I just give you a tip. Make sure that you have answered all the 5 questions. Now comes the most important thing, your handwriting. Dear learners, make sure that your handwriting is appealing. Be aware of your time limit. Try to answer all the questions within the time limit. Try not to spend more than half an hour for a question. Effective proofreading is also mandatory. Make sure that you have put the correct question number for those choices that you have made. I mean, for those options you have chosen. Capitalizations, punctuations, and all such aspects should be taken care of. Make sure that you've written your correct enrollment number. That matters a lot. Make sure that you have signed. All such things are mandatory. And safely return your answer booklet without any wear or tear. Dear learners, these are the points that you should keep in mind with respect to your BSOG-173 TEE. I wish all my dear learners all the very best. Be confident. Prepare well, there is still time. You will do well. Best wishes.